The Rothschild family is a wealthy Ashkenazi Jewish noble banking family. Their documented history starts way back in the 16th century in Frankfurt, Germany. The family rose to prominence with Mayer Amschel Rothschild, who established his banking business in the 1760s. The family used their extraordinary wealth, considered the largest private fortune in the world, to acquire businesses in a diverse range of fields, including financial services, real estate, mining, energy, agriculture, winemaking, and more. They also built or acquired a number of palaces and castles and houses throughout Europe, many of which, thankfully, remain standing today. Welcome along, fellow time travelers. This time around, we're going to check out the history of some of the magnificent homes owned by the Rothschild family. Before I begin, please like and share the show and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Now let's begin our journey. Waddesdon Manor is a country house in the village of Waddesdon in Buckinghamshire. Did I say that right? Buckinghamshire. And that's in England. It is owned by the Rothschild Foundation and managed by the National Trust, and is one of the National Trust's most visited properties. The house was built in a mostly neo-Renaissance style, copying individual features of several French chateaux between 1874 and 1889 for Baron Ferdinand Rothschild as a weekend residence for entertaining and to house his collection of art and antiquities. Because everybody should have a weekend residence for those sorts of things, don't you think? After the manor was completed, well, the first incarnation anyway, in 1883, Ferdinand quickly decided that, well, you know what, that's way too small. And so the bachelor's wing to the east was extended after 1885, and the morning room, which was built in the late Gothic style, was added to the west after 1888. The stables to the west of the manor were built in 1884. Now check this out. I love stuff like this. In 1890, Queen Victoria, who is quite popular, don't you know, requested to pay a visit. And you know, you never can say no to the Queen, right? And so she was invited, and she was so impressed with how beautiful the house was and the grounds, and how the staff were able to maintain the estate and the day's events. And she really loved those fancy things called electric lights, which were designed to look like candles in the chandeliers. In fact, she thought that was so cool that she reportedly asked for the room that she was in to be darkened so she could fully witness the effect of the electric candle lights. How cool is that story? Don't you love stuff like that? If any members of any royal family have ever come to your house, please let me know in the comments below. This is Mentmore Towers, historically known simply as Mentmore. It is a 19th century English country house built between 1852 and 1854 for the Rothschild family in the village of Mentmore in Buckinghamshire. A gentleman named Sir Joseph Paxton and his son-in-law designed the building in the 19th century revival of late 16th and early 17th century Elizabethan and Jacobean styles called Jacobean. The house was designed for Baron Mayer Rothschild as a country home and as a display case for his collection of fine art. The mansion has been described as being one of the greatest houses of the Victorian era. And so, as you can imagine, the Rothschild family really enjoyed living there, but unfortunately much of the estate was sold in 1944. But the mansion, its grounds, formal gardens, several farms, and the majority of the village of Mentmore remained in the ownership of Harry Primrose, 6th Earl of Rosebery. How cool is that title? The Earl of Rosebery. Until his death in 1974. A few years later, in 1977, the contents of the house were sold at public auction by Sotheby's. The following year, the empty mansion, how sad is that? The empty mansion with its formal gardens, and 80 acres were sold to the Maharishi Foundation, who occupied it for the next 2 decades. In 1999, it was sold once again. An investor bought it. He wanted to build a hotel and conference facilities. But the plan did not proceed, and the property was allowed to deteriorate. Don't you hate that? I mean, seriously, don't you hate that? In 1992, the Mentmore Golf and Country Club opened on land previously owned by the estate, but even that closed in 2015. The house, sadly, is currently abandoned. Come on, England. Get your finances in order. What the hell are you spending money on that's so freaking important that you can't take care of a beautiful home like this? I don't get it. Do you have any idea how great it would be for tourism if this place was jazzed up and brought back to life? Jump on it, you guys. Come on. The Château de Ferrières is a French chateau built between 1855 and 1859 for Baron James Rothschild. It is located in central France, some 16 miles east of Paris. It is considered to be the largest and most luxurious 19th century chateau in all of France. It was designed by the English architect Joseph Paxton. You know who that is, right? He is best known for designing the Crystal Palace, which was built in Hyde Park, London, to house the Great Exhibition of 1851. If you attended that, and you probably didn't, please let me know in the comments below. The inspiration for the design of Ferrières was Mentmore Towers in Buckinghamshire, England, the house that Paxton had built for Baron James's nephew. You see, Baron James went to Mentmore, and he thought it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. And so he said, "Hey, Joseph Paxton, come on over here. I want to talk to you for a second." And Joseph Paxton is like, "Yes, Mr. Rothschild, what can I do for you?" And the Baron said, "I want you to build me a Mentmore. Just like Mentmore. You know, just like that. I want that. Except in France. And it needs to be twice the size." And Joseph Paxton said, okay, no problem. It's not like you can't afford it." And so off he went. Built in the Neo-Renaissance style inspired by the architecture of the Italian Renaissance, with square towers at each corner, the house sits on a formal terrace that lead down to landscape gardens. And as you can imagine, Baron James Rothschild and his family and their friends really enjoyed the Château de Ferrières. After all, who wouldn't? You would, right? I mean, come on, look at this place. In 1975, Guy, yes, that was his name, Guy. If you know anybody named Guy, please let me know in the comments below. I've never met a guy named Guy. Guy. Would you really name a guy Guy? I guess some people do. Anyway, 1975, Guy Rothschild, who names their kid that? That's not real, right? That's got to be like a nickname or something? Like Dick? I don't know. Guy. Anyway, Guy Rothschild and his wife Marie-Hélène donated the chateau to the University of Paris for charitable purposes, of course. And so you can go there today if you desperately want to. If you find yourself in France, then add this to your list of places to go and check out. So, what do you think of these magnificent mansions that were once owned by the Rothschild family? If you're rolling in dough, would you live in any of those places? You know I would. Which one's your favorite? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Kindly remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Please check out the links below to learn how to support my research and productions. After all, I'm not a Rothschild. I'm not rolling in dough. Well, at least not Rothschild dough. So do me a favor. This channel is sponsored by CampfireShop.com. Go ahead and check them out. You can do it. CampfireShop.com. And you can buy some awesome candles and herbal supplements and teas and more. Go on, check it out. buy a bunch of stuff. And kindly be kind to all of our fellow earthlings, and please do not harm them, even if you have your own hunting lodge. You could just go there and hang out, relax, dance, read a book, watch some YouTube videos, especially mine, but don't harm any animals. And do yourself a favor and go to a local shelter and adopt a cat or a dog or both. You and they will be very glad that you did. Until next time, especially if you travel back in time and you're in a horse-drawn carriage with a member of the Rothschild family on your way to one of their grand estates, I wish you safe travels on all your journeys.